Welcome to another episode of Warrior Vetrepreneur Podcast. We've actually done a couple of these live streams on the same day. So this is the second one today. You guys are lucky enough to see my ugly mug in here with another guest. No, but thank you everybody for following me along my journey. I know we recently did that transition from Victory Leaders Lounge to Warrior Vetrepreneur Podcast. So thank you all for continuing to watch and actually watching more than you ever have before, especially on YouTube. So thank you again for following me on the journey. I do want to do a quick plug before we get started. I recently published my book, Speak Up, Show Up, Lead. Look it up on Amazon, or you can just look up JJ Hardy and it'll show up. This is literally my life explained in a way that it's what I've learned, because reflecting on negativity is not always good, but reflecting in a way that shows how you've grown is always wonderful. So that's what this book is all about. And if you're interested in my life lessons in leadership, then please let me know. Or you can go to that QR code in the bottom corner of the screen here, and everything is for sale everywhere. So that's it. Today, I have Mr. Adam Bird. And actually, this guy right here helps me get the word out for this show. So not only is he getting the word out, but he's willing to be a guest, and he's an Army veteran, and he does all kinds of stuff. I mean, when you look in the background, you see coffee in the whole 9 yards, but I'm going to let him tell his story because I'm sure he can do a heck of a lot better at it than I can. So Adam, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. I know you're a busy man. It seems like you got your hand in all kinds of stuff.
Little bit of everything. I can't sit still. You know, I gotta be moving. I'm one of those. I'm sit down for about 30, 40 minutes and I get antsy and I gotta be doing something.
Well, if you're continuously moving, then that must mean you're going somewhere.
Well, I haven't figured out where that direction is really going quite yet, but we are moving nonetheless.
I love it. Well, and as you said, nonetheless, thank you for being on the show. So please, if you wouldn't mind, for the audience here, can you tell us a bit about yourself, what you're involved with, maybe how you got there, and just help us inspire these vets that are kind of stuck in their life right now.
Trying to open up Pandora's box there. Born and raised in Wisconsin, lived in Arizona for 25 years, joined the Army National Guard in Arizona, was in the Guard for just shy of 9 years. I did a deployment in 2003 for the initial push, came back, went to divorce court, and became a single parent. Got custody of my son, tried the military, civilian job, and being a single parent all while going to college full time. And eventually something gave way, and it was the military side of it. I ended up getting out. I liked being a dad more than I liked doing the other stuff. And at that time in my career, just things weren't where I wanted them to be, and they weren't going where I wanted them to go. So it was all right. It was the right decision. No regrets. And then did some corporate jobs, worked my way up Fortune 500 companies, got into management, and then started I cut my teeth in radio. Terrestrial radio. I got asked to be on a guest on a terrestrial radio show from a Vietnam vet, and started talking. I was talking about education benefits for military benefits and whatnot. That was my background at that time, and had a friend of mine at the time that was also the co-host of that show, and we decided, hey, why don't we do this on our own and let's do it online? Nobody's really doing it online. Something different. We can say what we want and not get in trouble. So in 2012, we started at the time, the first of its kind, an all veteran podcast network. And it was just shows. We built a directory. And then we ran that for 3.5 years, and then kind of had different ideas of what we wanted to do. So we separated, shut that business down. And the next day I started what is now known as Heroes Media Group. And it wasn't just about veterans. I wanted to open it up to community heroes. So law enforcement, firefighters, first responders, medical personnel, obviously military and veterans, but there's also educators, and then there's a clergy side of it as well. So, and I've been doing that ever since. I started that in 2015, and yeah, I've been doing it ever since.
So, I have to ask this because a lot of people, they get stuck in this idea where they have to work for someone else. But you obviously at some point, just like me, made that crazy decision, because it's a little bit wild, to go off and do your own thing, and have to face the waters on your own, start your own business, and figure out how to make your own income without rlying on that guaranteed paycheck working for somebody else. So maybe can you share what inspired you to do that and how that journey has gone?
My son, I mentioned I was a single parent for 15 years. And when I got deployed, he was 10 days old. When I got back, did the whole thing. And in 2013, I quit the corporate job, ironically, it was April 1st of 2013. And everybody thought it was a joke. And I didn't necessarily do it intentionally. It just happened to fall on April Fool's Day. But I quit my job, and I didn't have any money in the bank. I had a mortgage, a car payment and a motorcycle payment, and I was a dad full time. And I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, it was just like, it got I didn't think this through, but something was telling me in my gut that I had to take that leap of faith at that time. And I did. And that was 2013. So that was under the old brand. And then in 2015, I thought about going back to corporate. And my pop, I'll never forget this. My pop and I were having lunch at a bar down in Tucson, Arizona. And I said, I think I'm just going to quit. And I think I'm going to go back to get a corporate job. And my pop isn't the type of guy that's easily impressed or believes in a lot of things. And he took a long drink of his beer, and he looked at me and he said, I think that'd be a mistake. That's when I knew I was onto something. That's like when I got pop convinced that I'm doing something. Then it was, you know what I mean? It was like something you just needed that extra kind of and I give credit a lot to my pop, because it was like, again, he's not easily impressed by stuff. And you're always kind of looking for that acceptance from your parents and whatnot. At that time in my life, I needed that. That's exactly what I needed. I wasn't expecting. I was shocked. I was thinking, go get a job, work at 30 years, retire, die. That kind of a thing. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, no, I think you need to stick with this. You're on to something. It's something special. I think you need to just work this out. Give it another year. Year goes by. It's growing, and I haven't looked back. It's been one of the best decisions I've made, but I contributed all to my son. When he was in junior high, he started playing like flag football and doing extracurricular activities. And I'm the type of guy who was just like, I'm not asking somebody's permission to leave work so I can go to my son's event. And in most cases, that's what happens with people. Like, you got to work a job, and you miss out on a lot of your kids' stuff, unfortunately. I wasn't going to do that. I was just like, I'll figure it out, but I'm not missing more things than I absolutely need to. If I'm going to miss something, it's because of something that I'm doing, trying to make money for ourselves. And that was really it, man. It was, you had to believe in it. It was scary. But I had faith that it was going to work. And that was 2013 when it all kind of started. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. So I'm not sure if you've already reached this, but I for somebody who's had a business for a while, I have to ask this question. Vision. Is Heroes Media Group what you thought it would be, or do you still see it as being something different?
I think we have a great foundation for what it is. We're a positive digital media company, and I say positive meaning we're sharing good stories. We have good people. There are good shows such as yourself that's on the network now. people that believe in the vision, that want to. I'm not creating anything that hasn't already been. Media's already out there. The internet's already out there. I'm just utilizing the tools that are out there, and I'm getting people to shift their mindset. We are so consumed by negativity in the world.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see more positive things. And somebody, I had an investor tell me in 2017, I got offered a lot of money, and he said, positivity isn't sexy. It doesn't sell. And I'm the type of person that has to prove someone wrong when I disagree with them. And I'll take this to my grave. I think it's just a mindset. And I knew I'm in this for the long run. I knew when I started this venture that it wasn't going to be get rich in the next 5 years, sell the company. I have no desire of selling the company. I'll do this as long as the good Lord allows me to draw breath, or until he tells me to do something else. So you're stuck.
Heck yeah.
You know?
Heck yeah. I think that's awesome. Well, as far as legacy is concerned, when this is all said and done, and you might have just said it in what you just got done saying, where we need more positivity, but what legacy do you want you and Heroes Media Group to leave behind?
You know, I've been asked that question before, and it's a great question, but I always have trouble answering it because it's like, what's my legacy? I think the legacy that I want to leave is just people, when they say my name, that they say that he was a good guy, and that he watched out for other people, and he tried to do right by others. You know, the company as a whole, I want people to look at this as a company that they can rely on. You know, somewhere that people can turn to for a good story, for positive resources. It's not, we don't just do podcasting. I mean, we do everything related to podcasts and stuff, but the networking inside of our organization in and of itself, and the people that are doing other things with their own businesses and stuff, that's a core part of that foundation that we have laid. And I think that's a good thing. People can come to us and realize, hey, I need something. Let's go to HMG and see if they can put us in the right direction.
Well, I love that. And I just wrote down a note on something I got to talk to you about later. But everything sparks ideas, and that's great. So that's awesome. But you don't just do Heroes Media Group. You also have another company, and it's centered around beverages. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I started HMG, I went to I was at an event in Georgetown University out in Virginia or DC area, and I met a Navy vet who was brewing coffee at the time. Great coffee. And I was like, man, I do a lot of shows, and a lot of times when you know how you go to shows, you get like those little grab bags and like a little stress ball, or you get like a pin with everybody's logo on it. I was like, nah, I want something different. I was like, hey, can you make me some coffee and I can put it in like a little sample pack that I can just give out? He's like, yeah, I can do that. And that started the coffee venture. Since 2015, since the inception of Heroes Media Group, we've always done coffee. And I sold it under the media side of things, but I didn't really sell it. It was just kind of giving it away. And truth be told, I wasn't paying full price for coffee. So it was kind of selfishly doing it for myself. But I would do that, and it got popular. And then in just before COVID, I had a buddy of mine in the spirit world, said, hey man, when are you going to do your own spirit? And I was like, all right, let's do a gin. I'm not a gin drinker. I wasn't at the time. And I wanted to do a straight bourbon whiskey. And so we did that. We partnered with a company at the time out of just in Tennessee. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to move the coffee under with the spirits. So we're going to create a beverage company. And HMG Beverage was born in 2020. I think it was 2020. June of 2020 is when it was. I had to look. I got the certificate right up above the desk here. So yeah, June of 2020 was right in the middle of COVID. Like when you think about it, you think back, it was like right in the middle of COVID. It's like not a good time to be. I didn't care. F it. We're doing it, and I did. And so now and at that time still, we were roasting or we had somebody else roasting our coffee. They were white labeling our stuff. I picked the beans and the blends that I wanted. Those were all stuff that I created. The recipes are mine. And they would, we'd do drop ship it for us. Then they went bankrupt, didn't tell us. And then in 2023, wife and I found out that they went bankrupt, and we were wondering why we were getting all these phone calls, people wondering where their coffee orders were. We went down, got everything, and I brought everything in house. So I went out, bought a couple of smaller roasters and such, and been building the business ever since.
Okay. And how is that, since you've started roasting your own stuff? How has that journey been for you? Has it been?
It's a learning process with the coffee. It's been a learning process because coffee now has like tripled in price over the last year. It's gotten very expensive. You see all the blends that I have behind me on my shelf. We're down to like 3 blends right now, just because coffee's so high. That said, however, we still have our monthly subscribers, and we do shows during the summer month. We'll do shows when I'm not traveling, but we have our monthly subscribers that order the coffee. So every month they get their coffee, and it's been very profitable for us. And we take that money. We have a nonprofit that we work with, HMG Foundation, and profits from the coffee go over to the foundation to help community heroes and whatnot. So that's the one business there. The other business I have is I'm a co-founder of JB Auto Clothiers. I'm not the brainchild of that one. I basically just jumped on it because a buddy of mine asked, and we do custom made to measure suits for transitioning veterans and business people. So business people want to buy a suit or jacket. And they also do custom shirts. This isn't one of the shirts, but the jacket is one of our own. And we've suited up. The JB Auto Clothiers worked with a couple of worked with their own nonprofit down in Tampa, and they, I think last year did 150 transitioning veterans, suited them up with a custom made to measure suit.
Wow. It's great to see that there are partnerships that do more than just take veterans on trips, although those things are needed.
Yeah.
There are so many other things that veterans in transition need. And so nice clothing. I mean, my goodness, when we're serving, we are given what we wear every day. Now there's a certain expectation on what we wear, how we dress, how we act, and all that other stuff than when we were serving in the military. So you being a part of that, even with partnering through a nonprofit, that's, in my opinion, that's huge.
Yeah. The founder of it, I'm going to give my buddy James Boggs a shout out real quick. Papa Bear Boggs, if you watch this, love it, man. He was the brainchild behind this. He's done suits for years with his nonprofit Team Auto. And, we decided he wanted to start a business and do the business side of it and sell jackets and suits to, regular business folks. And that's kind of where I come in. And we've done that little by little. But then we take that money and like I said, suit, it's a 50, if you do a full suit, it's this suit off the rack would be a $1,500 suit. And we're giving it to the veteran. You wore a uniform. You're transitioning out, so you're hanging up that uniform, and we want to give you your next uniform.
Yeah, that's huge. So you have Heroes Media Group, you have a beverage company, you have a clothing company, where it's the good stuff, for business people. How do people get a hold of you? And I had Heroes Media Group that I was going to put on the ticker, but it seems like there's much more than that. How would people get a hold of you if they wanted to reach out to you?
Smoke signals, that's, if you go on any, social media is You can find me on social media, me personally, at Mr. Adam Bird on all social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, or X rather, Instagram. I got a website, mradambird.com. You can reach out to me there. That's probably the easier, if you find me, you'll be able to see all of the other stuff that we're doing. And we're adding a few more things later. We got the beverage stuff has got some stuff coming up this fall that we're adding some more products and stuff too. And that side of it's growing. The media company, as you know, JJ, is constantly growing, and we've got more stuff, coming there as well. So it's been, I'm blessed that I get to do the things that I get to do. It's pretty cool, all the traveling and different events that I get to do, and the people that I get to help and work with.
No, I agree. And for everybody who's watching this either now or if you're watching the replay, all of those things, Heroes Media Group, Mr. Adam Bird, at Mr. Adam Bird on social media, or mradambird.com, all of those are ways you can get a hold of him. And if you didn't hear what I just said, just look below because it's on the ticker down at the bottom of the screen. And so, yeah, get a hold of Adam Bird. He's a great guy. I'm partnered with Heroes Media Group. As I said at the beginning, he pushes my podcast out, and actually my son wants me to advertise this computer to behind me because he wants to start building and selling them. But if you look on there, if you look on there, one of those stickers that you sent me are right here. Plus, I'm rocking the gear that you sent out to me as well in the background for my stuff. So very proud to be a part of your network, and I can't wait to start leveraging that more and doing some more things with that, because I'm very, very new to the platform. So you said you help all heroes, so first responders and veterans on your platform.
Yeah.
Let's just do a plug for you real quick. What are some of the things that Heroes Media Group does? I know you said you do more than just provide a place for them to advertise their shows. You do more than that. So what are some other things that you do to help these guys and gals?
If you have a podcast, we'll start from the podcast side. If you have a podcast, we do all post-production things related. So transcript, we do the notes, we'll do the video editing, we'll do the audio editing, we'll host the program for you. Well, if you're a new podcaster, we'll walk you through the process and get you set up. I'll sit down with you and I'll coach you through whatever your goals are based on your goals, and give you a 90-day plan of really what you need to do and how to be successful. You want to monetize your show. There's different tools that we have to help you monetize, or ideas that best practices that some shows use that have monetized their show. If you're an author and you have your manuscript, or maybe you have your book's already written, turn it into an audiobook. There's a whole slew of customers that you're missing if you do not have an audiobook done already. So we do the audiobooks too. We've done 9, I think, 8 or 9 books in the last 5 years. I limit how many we do because I'm very picky on it, because I do a lot of the audio books myself. It's because there's several other steps that are in there, and I work directly with the authors or the talent to get that book done. So, and then there's a whole process, Amazon bestseller and yada yada yada, a whole slew of things there. And then I think more importantly is just providing a platform to have your voice heard. We want to hear those good stories. We want to hear story. I tell people, I said it yesterday, is, you have a story that needs to be told, and everybody needs, there's somebody out there that needs to hear your story. JJ, you and I could be talking about a topic, saying the same thing, but it's the way that you say it resonates more with people.
Yeah.
Should I not talk about that topic then? No, because
you should.
There's people out there that you might miss that resonate more with how I say it. Again, saying the same thing, but it's just our approach to how we do it. And I think a lot of the times people get shy on saying stuff because like, oh, it's already been said, it's already been done. Yeah, but the way that you do it, and I say it from a place of purpose because in my life, at this point in my life, my purpose in life is to help other people get to where they want to go. I just happen to have a platform that allows them to do that.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of that. This is the point in the show, because we're over 25 minutes,
All right.
that I always ask my guests. And if you've watched any of my shows, you probably know what I'm getting ready to say. What is one piece of wisdom, something you want to share about your journey or whatever that would help somebody with their journey, success, whatever? What's one thing that you would like to share with my audience?
Jump. Stop playing around with, putting your toe in the water. Just jump. Because here's the thing. There are people out there that want to help you succeed. So you have to be open to letting people help you. Here's a way that I recently, the last year or two, I came up with this idea is, how selfish is it for me not to ask for help? Because there are people out, I'm denying somebody their purpose in life that want to help people. I'm denying them that opportunity to help me, and they want to help, and they might be the right people that I need to get me to where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Jump. Don't be afraid of failure. You're going to fall. You're going to get nicks and bruises and all that other stuff, but you don't want to be on your deathbed and be like, man, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah. And with entrepreneurship, is it okay if I add a little bit to that? I know this show is about you, but I would love to add just a little bit to that. Surround yourself with people that will either help you or, push you along in that journey. Just like we used to say in the military, don't be a hero. And that saying came along because, if you want to go out there and lift this big, heavy thing on your own, or run through the field and take those bullets, the likelihood of you coming out on the other side without getting hurt, it's unlikely. This business is the same way. If you want to succeed in business, you need a community of people that will help guide you along in that process, because without it, I use the bundle of sticks analogy, right? One stick by itself, if you bend it, it will probably break. But if you put a bunch of sticks together, good luck. So, use that along your business journey.
Tell me somebody that has gotten to be successful in life and didn't have any help along the way.
Oh, I don't think there's probably many at all.
Right.
If any.
You're going to need help to get to where you want to go. So
yep.
The sooner you can come to grips with that, the faster you will get to where you want to go.
Yeah. And for those who have the mentality where, I'm a self-made man. Well, how much education do you have? How many people did you have to learn from to get that education? What jobs have you had that help you earn the name that you have for yourself now? And how much hard work did you have? And by the way, in a business, it requires people. So how many people did you have to talk to become successful in what you're doing? If you think you're that self-made person, yeah, you probably had a lot of really good ideas, but without your community, you'd be nowhere.
And I want to piggyback off of that, JJ, real quick, if I can. Heroes Media Group.
Do it.
Heroes Media Group is where it's at today, not because of Adam Bird. I just had the idea. We are successful because of people like yourself and the other shows that are on this network, period. That's why we are successful.
Yes. Yes. And thank you, Adam. Unless you have another piece of wisdom or anything else you'd like to say, this is usually the point where I wrap it up.
Well, I just want to say this. Again, those of you out there that are thinking about starting a podcast, starting a business, or writing your book, whatever the case may be, do it. And JJ, thank you so much for being a part of the HMG family, brother. I certainly appreciate you, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk to your listeners today.
That's Adam Bird, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm getting ready to take the ticker off. So look one more time for his information at the bottom to be able to reach out to him, and it's gone. So Now this is where I do the plug for me. Do not forget to go to Amazon and look up this book, ladies and gentlemen. I think that you would enjoy it. There's some stuff that I haven't told anybody out in the world except for the very closest people to me. So this is actually me giving the world permission to hear about some of the hardest things I've done in my life. So you're welcome. I don't know if that's a you're welcome thing or not, but I just felt like saying it. And you can find out more about me by scanning that QR code. But I want to thank you all for coming along this journey with me through my podcast, helping me along with my interviews by being a guest. And wherever you see this video, don't forget to like. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, please subscribe and follow my channels. And don't forget, if you have a question or a comment at any point in time, throw that below so we can keep these conversations going. We will see you all next time.